Welcome to the second operations session for today. During this session, we also want to now talk a little bit about what are the latest enhancements that we shipped in Cloud ALM for operations, and then also want to get then direct feedback and insights from Dominik, from Henkel, on how they use Cloud ALM for operations to ensure business continuity of their landscape. Now, first of all, I want to give you some further numbers about our growth. Then, as said, talk about the latest additions. Dominik will come on stage. And then I also want to give you strategic guidance when it comes to API usage, because we there nowadays receive a lot of questions from customers when to use Cloud ALM, when maybe to forward certain metrics to another third-party solutions, and for sure then also leave you with some key takeaways. Let us talk about growth. I talked about the first numbers already in my previous presentations. Therefore, I want to emphasize now on in how many countries SAP Cloud ALM for operations is used. Practically, it is used in all countries SAP does business in. And we are catering to this demand via extending our data center presence where we already are, and also going into new locations with new data center in order to cater then to more regional, local demand. So we are expanding there in two directions. And we are also looking into sovereign cloud, and right now are planning to support sovereign cloud deployments by the end of 2027. When we now look at how many systems and services are actively monitored by SAP Cloud ALM for operations, there we are now almost reached 70,000, and we see a strong uptick since July of this year. So this 18% is measured since compared to July this year. So there we see that the customers who have already connected systems, they connect more of their systems, so increasing the coverage of their landscape with SAP Cloud ALM for operations. And that's for sure we are extremely happy about. Now, most customers, you see we have 5,000 active customers. Most customers obviously monitor an ERP, no surprise. So it's either an ECC or an S4 systems. And there we also see for sure the number of customers increasing. But customers are not just using obviously health monitoring to monitor their ERP or S4 systems. We see that more and more customers are expanding the number of monitoring use cases they actually use in SAP Cloud ALM for operations. And as you can see, we are now at 3,500 customers who use more than one monitoring use case. And this then results in 5.5 billion iDocs to be monitored per day. Yeah? So this is another indication on how much volume we actually have to deal with from an observability perspective. And then obviously customers also generate alerts, so they configure thresholds, notifications, and this then results in 26 million alerts generated per quarter nowadays. So what are the latest additions? Those additions that we shipped since the last summit in September in Mannheim. First of all, I want to talk about object flow monitoring and integration and exception monitoring. So this allows you to actually monitor the master data replication within your systems landscape. And this is really something where we then now also cater again towards the business user, as we are making it very simple to actually consume this monitoring use case. So we focus on an object that we monitor, and in case an error occurs, it's an object, and it's not just an interface message as an integration and exception monitoring. So it's easier to consume for a business key user. Then, in the beginning of the year, we have expanded all our DataSphere support, and we are now covering via health monitoring, so you can monitor your resources there, so CPU, memory, and also storage per space. And we are now, since the beginning of this year, we have also increased the coverage towards other monitoring use cases, especially job monitoring and also CSA. And then what we were particularly happy about, that we were able to release this to you in April, that was change point detection in real user monitoring. So there, we basically automatically are able to detect a change in the end user response time by basically comparing current values to previous historic values. We're gonna we train the mechanism every 3 days so that we always detect reliably once the response time of your end users, for your end users increase. Right now, we mark this via a red triangle, and then you can click on it and then drill down further why this problem has occurred. And now in Q4 of this year, so soon, we also now gonna add alerting on top of it. So we're gonna also support that you then get a notification in case there's a response time increases for your users. Then in exception monitoring, we added solving tips already earlier this year. So this is based on the same mechanism that support is using. When you open a ticket, basically, it's the same mechanism. So what it does is, that whenever you receive an exception from other based system, we recommend the most suitable KBA articles and SAP notes so that you can resolve your problem faster. And for sure, with AI-assisted alert resolution, as you have seen today morning in the keynote, we're gonna taking this in early next year to the next level. Then in business process monitoring, we added now there's an option to add custom KPIs and also custom processes. This means previously we shipped predefined processes with predefined KPIs out of the box. And now you can add your custom KPIs both for S4 as well as your BTP applications. And you can also create your custom processes whenever you need it. And going forward, as Stephanie will show us in Michael's keynote tomorrow, so already a hint, we're gonna show how you can import then a custom process that you have created in Cloud ALM for implementation. And now the 6 main feature that we shipped already talked about, and I would say we announced it, or we said that we're gonna release it soon for quite some time, and it was a really tough one. And we actually wanted to run a firework in order to celebrate it, because it was so difficult, but it's actually, from a functionality perspective, rather simple. But nonetheless, I think it was the most requested feature in health monitoring, and so we are really happy to now have availability for S4 systems. Yeah? So that means, as already said previously, we really looking forward to your feedback always, and taking this very seriously, and we are now happy that we also closed this gap. And now I'm really happy to welcome Dominik on stage, who will gonna show us and explain to us how Henkel uses SAP Cloud ALM for operations.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I'm Dominik Burski. I'm a BTP Foundation engineer at Henkel, and today I will show you the perspective of Henkel on Cloud ALM. But before that, I want to talk about Henkel in general, about our IT landscape, and show you how we are using the BTP as a centralized platform and combining that with Cloud ALM as our centralized operations tool. Yes, maybe some of you already know Henkel from your daily life. We are trying to support you with our business on your day-to-day own operations. So doing your laundry, maybe gluing something with a Pritt stick or anything else. Most of you probably already heard of Henkel being a day-to-day supporter. And for us, for the BTP team at Henkel, Cloud ALM really acts as a supporter on our day-to-day business. But first, let's jump into some numbers of Henkel. What are we? Who are we? We are operating in two business areas. One are adhesive technologies, where we are world market leader with brands like Loctite, Technomelt, and on the other end, doing consumer business with Persil, Schwarzkopf, or Sios. In general, we are around doing 21.6 billion euros in sales per year and have a really large history of around 150 years of successfully running brands and technologies in those areas. We employ around 47,000 people around the world in 126 nations. We are really focused on diversity, inclusion, but also on our CO2 emission goals. And compared to 2017, we reduced our CO2 emissions by 46%, which is a great number, which we can be proud of. And this is around Henkel in general, but now let's look into our technology, and where I'm coming from is the BTP. So we at Henkel set up the BTP without having without having S4 in place, next to the RISE migration. And here as well, some interesting stats about our team. We have around 120 ambassadors running around and spreading the message at Henkel for the BTP in 15 countries. We have in-house 140 SAP only BTP developer operating as our global technology center in India. We nearly onboarded the whole company with 45,000 business users on the platform and already have 49 productive applications deployed. On the integration side, we are managing 685 interfaces with 80 custom APIs on our integration suite, which accumulates around 60 million API calls per month. Yeah, and all of this totals really in a heavy consumption of 1.8 terabyte of application runtime, and a lot of data as well is being stored with around 16 terabyte of HANA data. Yes, quite a large scale at Henkel regarding the BTP, and really this is why we have such numbers, because we placed the BTP at Henkel as one of our strategic technology platforms. Here on the screen you can see how our BTP services are getting used, how we set up our structure. It's really a big picture of multiple services that we are really using productively at Henkel. We want to enable our business and accelerate our delivery with the BTP, and with having all of these large numbers of applications, a lot of data stored, we need to do somehow the operations part. And for that, we thought, how can we really manage this big platform at Henkel? And we faced quite a lot of challenges. We started with having really no operations at all. We had nothing in place, and slowly evolved, and last year really ramped up our operations with creating a whole new team in our BTP environment with 12 resources working only on operations. And how can we support these colleagues? The answer will be given now, which is really our Cloud ALM for operations at Henkel. We have currently 4 running components that we have configured. Namely, those are job and automation monitoring, the business service management, real user monitoring, and health monitoring in some kind of extent. And I will focus today in a small demo on the first two and how we set up these two services in combination with our BTP. Now I will quickly switch onto the demo mode. And here you can now see, or not see, the demo. I think I need to share again. Not really sharing. Yeah, I think now we are back. Thanks for waiting. Yeah, now I will show you how we set up. Now we jump back. There we go. Some kind of technical issues, but now we are here, and now we can start with the demo. So this is our central entry point for Cloud ALM, and I will show you today the two components, BSM and job and automation monitoring. And as you already heard, we are running the BTP as really one of the strategic technology platforms at Henkel. And we have thought, how can we centralize app development, operations, our platform approach, guidance, and really the delivery out of our BTP team. And for that, we structured as well Cloud ALM and BSM, as you see now, from a central perspective. So you are not seeing the business services that you might think of. You're seeing BTP applications that we have individually developed, and we have clustered all the service components that we are monitoring here inside of our own custom business services. These are all BTP apps that you can see that we have developed. One of them is the Account Planning Excellence, which is one of our accounting applications. And for that, I will now try to search for any kind of notification. And you can see here that we had an event that the business application studio was not accessible. We had some outage for 10 minutes, which was not really affecting our business, but we can really see here what has happened, how it got resolved, and really the information about this event. And we have not only set up the central approach, but we also set up our notification and alerting functionalities from a central perspective. So in the notification management, we have added distribution lists that are notifying not only our central operations team, but also our business stakeholders in case of any events in the business service management. Now, when looking at the configuration, I can dig deeper and show you one of the examples. Those are all our BTP applications that are productively deployed. You can see in here how these events and actions are really set up, that we have for many type of events set up alerting functionalities to our central operations team to have a guidance. And this is all helping us transforming our journey from coming from really reactive operations to proactively act on those events. And the same goes for the job and automation monitoring, because as well in here you will see that we have set up the job and automation monitoring not for the services, but really for our BTP applications, centrally focusing on that and centrally focusing on productive environments. And in here you see that we have in some of them open alerts that I can also jump into and look at the jobs. One of them has failed execution right now. This is a data load from one of our SAP systems, and here you can see the status of the execution that is red, and you can click on this little information icon to see the details, the metric data, and also directly go into this job and troubleshoot why this execution failed. As well, for job and automation monitoring, we have configured alerting functionalities to alert our central operations team on failed executions or red or yellow warnings that have appeared when a job has run. You can see in here one of our Lighthouse projects, which is a remap. You can see here that the critical execution status has been configured for this event type, and on critical executions, when they are red or yellow, on every occurrence we are getting notified centrally and can act upon those. Yeah, and now jumping back again to the presentation, I hope this works now. Yes, indeed. Yeah, what are the benefits of having this central approach? We have combined business service management and job and automation monitoring with notification management to have like a transformation, because we started with really no operations in the past years, moving into a reactive mode. So we started to act upon critical outages, and now we are trying to evolve into a proactive operations phase. Yeah? So to shift the mindset. And what are the next steps for us now? We really want to focus not onto acting, but to prevent. And for that, we want to integrate real user monitoring to see really live data and really analyze why things are happening and why things are maybe failing. And therefore, we want to shift from then proactive into preventive operations or preventive maintenance. And this really sums it all up. This is our journey at Henkel, and this is our way to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Dominic. Thanks a lot for those great insights and for the demo. Now, as said previously, I want to leave you with some strategic guidance on how to consume our APIs. So obviously, we have optimized SAP Cloud ALM for operations for SAP-centric business processes. So we made it very simple to hook up SAP Cloud solutions, private cloud systems, as well as on-premise systems. And then via OpenTelemetry, you can then also connect third-party solutions that are related to your SAP-centric business process, which we strongly recommend in order to get a holistic picture on the health of your operations. Now, via doing so, you will benefit from our one-click setup, from the AI-assisted alert resolution that is going to come and that you have seen today morning. You will benefit from conversational dashboard creation, as you will see tomorrow morning. And going forward, as you will also see tomorrow morning, we're going to integrate more and more in Cloud ALM for implementation. Yeah? So in case you have there an automatic test script, for example, already created, then you can reuse it in synthetic user monitoring. You have a business process defined in Cloud ALM for implementation. You can reuse it in operations. No? And those things that we are working on, and those I would say that is the benefits that SAP Cloud ALM delivers to you as a suite. And nonetheless, there are situations where you want to forward also raw metrics to other third-party application performance management solutions. And this we for sure support by exposing everything that we collect via OpenTelemetry. Now, the question is when to do so. So we recommend to do so when you want to, for example, include the health of a central, for example, S4 system into your overall company view, into your overall company application performance management solution, because we see at really large customers, they have usually a central one, and then I would say it makes a lot of sense then also to forward their selected metrics, but only selected one we recommend in order also to keep the configurational effort in scale. And now, where does this leave us for today? As already said, as we have seen here from Dominic, SAP Cloud ALM is really ready to help you in your transition. We support more and more products from the SAP Business Data Cloud. Both the products that we support are increasing, as well as the depth of the products that we are supporting is increasing. It's actually very easy to connect your SAP BTP apps, as we have seen today, and that obviously adds a lot of value in order to get then a complete transparency. And although that was introduced some time ago, I cannot stress it enough, because whenever we talk to customers, it seems still to be new. Yeah? And also want to then also point again to the session that we're going to have, a hands-on session that we're going to have tomorrow, that's going to explain to you how to easily do this. And then when it comes to API usage, we strongly recommend SAP Cloud ALM for your SAP-centric processes. In case you require certain metrics, also then in your central company-wide application performance management solution, then obviously we have the capabilities for you to forward those raw data. And with this, I want to thank you again for listening. I want to thank again Dominic for his great presentation and demo, and looking forward to talk to you during the next days. Thank you.